Everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Arc. It's a new year. It's time for us to talk about the new season. We haven't talked about it in some time. My co-host joining me from Texas. What up, Caitlin Stafford? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up?
Yeah, we it's been 2 weeks since we've last had an official video, like an official one. And we definitely skipped over the start of the regular season because Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna get into some power rankings based off of the first week and a half of play. So let's get right into it. So we got our power rankings coming from the first week of play in the NBA. Kaylin, we got it was a struggle about 10 minutes ago
Was
trying to put together this list of top 10 teams because it's early and people are winning games, teams are winning games that we might not have expected, and their records look better than we have expected. And in the same light, there are teams whose record looks horrible that we've expected to do better. So let's talk about the your power rankings going forward.
all right. My top 10 have the Nets number one, Clippers number two, Celtics number three, Lakers number four, Suns number five, Kings number six, 76ers number seven, Pelicans number eight, Pacers number nine, and 10 the Hawks. Don't quote me on none of this. It's just based off of my knowledge. So yeah, what's yours looking like, man? What's yours looking like?
Dude, I don't even know. I know you're saying don't judge you, but like I don't know how much different our lists are gonna be because like these records are just it's the records like and it's who has played who. COVID plays a factor. People just not playing plays a factor. And I think there was more movement in the off season that than we kind of realized. There was a shortened the short off season that we had. There was more movement than we kind of saw. And you look at these teams, and it's apparent and kind of the start. You could say some people felt the short off season more than others. There were teams that spent almost 200 days not playing basketball, and there were teams who just got done playing last month. So
Yeah.
it's definitely varied. However, my power rankings, I have number one the Los Angeles Lakers, and then I have right behind them the Brooklyn Nets. And I know we kind of said, well, I definitely said it's going to be an easy repeat for the Lakers, and I think that narrative is definitely going to change. But at number three, I have the Los Angeles Clippers. Number four, the Philadelphia 76ers. Number five, the Boston Celtics. Number six, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number seven, the Phoenix Suns. Number eight, the Sacramento Kings. Number nine, the Indiana Pacers. And at number 10, I got the Atlanta Hawks. So there is not a whole lot of difference in our list looking at them. I think the biggest difference is the fact that you dropped the Lakers all the way to the fourth best team.
I did.
I still have them at number one, even though they're a two-loss team. Can you explain why the Lakers are so low on your list?
Uh, I've never really been a big fan of the Lakers. I respect them for their talent. I really do respect them for their talent. I just, I've been saying before, like how they've been moving and stuff. I don't like how they were moving. They were moving too smart for me, if that makes sense. Like they brought in, they brought in Marcus All, freaking Trez. They brought in a lot of big players, not big players, but like center wise, and less point guards, which is smart because they don't really need point guards. And I just, I just don't really like the Lakers that much, so I put them at four. They're still up there. At least they're top five. I didn't disrespect them and put it like six or seven, so they're up there.
They just won the championship though. And I mean,
I
it's
know.
not like they're losing that many games. I mean, they're 3-2,
Yeah, they are.
which I mean, if you look at last season, it's not like we were looking at the Lakers and they were head and shoulders above anybody either,
Mm-hmm.
because during the regular season, we were still looking at the Clippers and thought they were a threat. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when we get to the playoffs, I feel like that narrative is going to change. With you thinking that the Lakers are moving too much or doing whatever you think, um, do you think the Nets are going to like? Do you think they have a chance to beat them? Like, or do you think they're actually going to be a threat come finals, come playoff time.
It's a possibility. Looking at how everything is right now, we have a lot of teams that we didn't expect to be at the top. We're at the top now, and so we don't really know what to expect from the future and now, like from now to the future. So I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I was always saying it was always going to be based off of Kevin Durant's return and if he was going to return to that MVP caliber kind of player that we've grown used to seeing.
Hmm.
And he has. I think that's without a doubt. He's torn it up since he stepped foot on the floor. And Kyrie Irving has played. I feel like I'm looking at Kyrie Irving playing his best basketball right now next to Kevin Durant. The system that they have in Brooklyn is amazing because they literally have two ISO ball players surrounded by people who don't really need the ball in their hands, and then you have a crazy scorer in Karis LeVert coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a very balanced team. When you look at the lineup, it's the test is gonna be how far they can continue. Health is gonna be a test for them as well. And I think I prefer to hold the Lakers in higher regard when thinking about longevity. Just because of their play style, the fact that they have LeBron James, the fact that they have Anthony Davis, the fact that they have players like Dennis Schroeder and Trez coming off the bench. I do think Trez has underperformed so far this season. His defense, he's a defensive liability, and I think the Clippers were aware of that. They made it kind of known when they shipped him away, and I think him being on the Lakers kind of highlights his lack of ability on defense. It's not that he can't be an athletic defender because he
Hmm.
still gets those athletic high blocks. It's just there are times and it's very apparent that he's not a very strong defender. He's 6'8". Is he at 6'8"? So he's a body. He's just ends up playing a lot of people bigger than him, and it's just apparent at times.
Do you think he's gonna get better because he's working with LeBron, or do you think he's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just how he is? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, 100%. I don't think this is his ceiling at all. I just think it's what we're seeing.
Hmm.
And again, you look at the Lakers from last season, and they weren't much better than what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Hmm.
we weren't looking at a dominant. It was just they had LeBron and AD, and we recognized that they had LeBron and AD. Now they
Hmm.
have LeBron and AD, and they have a better supporting cast than I feel like they did last year. We admit that they've gotten better from the point of them winning a championship last year, so they're still my championship favorites.
Hmm.
The Nets are definitely. We just need to put the Nets in a different light because they definitely are making a threat. Outside of those two teams, I feel like there's a fat gap, like a wide gap when you put the Clippers. But apparently, you think the Clippers and the Celtics are better than the Lakers, which I don't know how you get to that point.
I don't feel like as of now they are, but it's like I said before, we can't really go off as now because it's a fresh start, and so the Celtics they're looking pretty good, but sometimes they lose to like a trash team, like the Hornets. The Hornets,
Also, the
they're
Hornets and the
there.
Pacers.
Yeah, it's like how do you want to feel about the Hornets? You sometimes you don't like them, and then another time they beat another team that you really expect they lose to. So it's like love hate relationship with everybody. To be honest, as of
I
now.
mean, it's a long season, and I think looking at both of our lists, it's very apparent that they're going to change drastically. I think kind of the top few teams are going to change. I mean, we didn't even mention the Houston Rockets. They're 0-4
Nah.
or 0 whatever they are. I don't know if they play 4 games. The Washington Wizards are 0-4 and they have Russell Westbrook. I mean, they're just teams that we didn't expect. The Denver Nuggets have only won 1 game, I think. They're like 1-3.
Mm.
And those are teams that we hold in high regard. It's just early. Those teams are the Houston Rockets and the Nuggets. They just got done playing. It's the rest of the list is going to fluctuate.
Mm.
I want to know your thoughts on the 76ers, teams like that, teams like the Pelicans, teams like the Pelicans for sure because of they're a younger team. The Suns are also a younger team. How do you feel about those younger teams kind of moving up in the power rankings?
I feel like it's a new era of the NBA. Like as we progress through the years go by, as the years go by, we see like how a big difference they're making. Like Brandon Ingram, like when he first got in the league, he was a big aspect to the Lakers. They traded him to the Pelicans, and now we see he's going up and up and up now. Jason Tatum, he's going up. Jalen Brown, he's going up. There's a lot of young players who are going up. So a few years from now, they're going to be top five. To be honest, the Lakers, they're going to probably be six, seven. Clippers also. So yeah, I'm just expecting a lot from the young Bucks.
Yeah, the Boston Celtics have been interesting for me.
Mhm.
Honestly, I didn't have them very. I mean, I have them at 5, which is not. It's. I don't think it's any higher than we would expect out of the Celtics. But when you look at the Celtics, they're a very shooting guard, small forward, kind of heavy team. They're led by Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are both more forwards than guards. I guess Jalen Brown, you can put him at a shooting guard. Yeah, that's where they run him at. But you don't really have a true point guard right now. Kemba's hurt.
Mhm.
Um, he won't be back till around mid-January. So you're really focusing heavy on Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, which is not bad. Jason Tatum is an incredible talent. There are definitely nights that he shows that he's young. He reminds us that he's young. He's still very talented. It's just we're reminded several times that okay, Jason Tatum has some growing to do. The talent is there. It's just he lacks some experience sometimes. Jalen Brown, the same thing. He can score at high volume. He dropped like 40 something the other night, and he went crazy. You have Marcus Smart, a defensive powerhouse. Like he's just a defensive presence that they need. I think what we need to look at is we need to look at the Boston Celtics and say, do they have what it takes to make it out of the East? And in reality, I think we say no. I think you look at them and you have teams that like the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we easily can see them beating the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference semis. Maybe the Boston Celtics could get past them and end up losing to the Brooklyn Nets. We ultimately see the Brooklyn Nets coming out on top. It's just I don't even put Boston at a second place in the East right now.
Mhm.
Despite the Milwaukee Bucks losing several games to lesser teams. Let's talk about the Clippers. Did we talk about the Clippers already?
No, we do not.
Let's talk about the Clippers.
Let's get
They
it.
lost by 50.
Yes, they did.
50 points. They lost by 50. Without Kawhi Leonard, they lost by 50 points to the Dallas Mavericks. They were down by like 60 at halftime. It was really ugly. It was horrible. And you have them above the Lakers. I need you to explain
Okay,
why.
with Kawhi, I have them higher than the Lakers with Kawhi.
Okay.
Without Kawhi, that was pitiful. Like,
That was wow. Wow.
and the Mavericks not even like a top team right now. They're
They
not
didn't
even
even
in
have
our top 10
Porzingis.
list. Exactly. They're not in our top 10 list right now.
They don't have my top 10 either.
So it's like that's even worse for them.
That's
But like
crazy.
they have an excuse though. It's not like if Kawhi was there, I would understand. Like, okay, that's y'all just trash. But Kawhi wasn't there, and he's a big aspect to that team. So
Right.
I can't give them an excuse for losing by 50, but like they do have some legitimate reason why they lost. If they would have lost by like 20 or something like that, like I would have given okay, but 50, it's like
Wasn't that like their largest loss, like in franchise history or something like that? It
I
was,
think so, but that was bad.
bro, that's awful. I mean, they're not, I'm not saying let's take that and let's just say, let's just drop them completely out of the top 10, but they're definitely not better than the Lakers. Because if you took LeBron off the Lakers, are the Lakers going to lose by 50 points?
About 50 because they got AD.
Come on, bro.
AD's up there.
The Clippers got Paul George.
Paul George. Talking about the Paul George from that was
They
we
still
were
got
talking
Paul
about.
George.
Paul
They
George.
still got him.
I don't want to talk about Paul George right now until he get back to his old self where he's
He was hooping
falling.
though. I mean,
He's
he
doing
dropped
no,
like
no.
30 some in a season opener.
He's doing better. No, don't get me wrong. He's doing better. I still expect more from him. So I'm not gonna treat him like he's an all star. To me, he's like a six man. I'll look at him as a six man, even though he's not a six man. I'm going to look at him as like, oh, you're not the best. You're not one of the best on the team. You have to earn that spot again. Basically, you have
That's
to
fair.
restart. You have to restart.
That's fair.
So they lost their only all-star, Kawhi Leonard. That's why they lost.
I can't wait for this list to look completely different, man. The
Let's see.
Bucks didn't even make it in your top 10. I gave them my 6th spot out of respect for Giannis. That was it.
Respect.
Out of respect, that's it. Because I mean, they're not that good either.
They had a bad start. They're 2-3. So, like I said, we'll see how they do in the future. 2 or 3 more games. I feel like they're.
Everybody. Same with everybody.
You know, the list is going to change all around, just like you said before. Everything's going to, you know.
100%. 100%.